Well, hello everyone, and welcome to a very dark vlog, the joys of this time of year. I'm currently sat aboard the 500,000 mile Picasso. Video should be coming out fairly soon on that, and this is as much as I'm showing you of it until then. But I just wanted to explain how the Sussex trip went, because so many very near disasters. The main one being getting COVID. We'd arranged to go and visit Pete and his bus almost a month ahead. I knew we'd be down in the Sussex area, so I knew we'd be able to go and do it. So we sort of booked it in well in advance, and then got COVID just before going. So on the Thursday morning, I think it was, I tested and finally came up negative, but we were still feeling pretty grotty as we drove down there. So the worst part of COVID was the brain fog. It was absolutely horrible. On the Monday of that week, I'd had an online meeting with my YouTube partner manager, and I had to say I can't do this, because she was saying stuff and trying to get a response out to me, and I was just not able to process it. It was like I need like about 10 minutes to think about each reply. Very strange, very horrible. I didn't enjoy it at all. As few people do, to be fair. COVID, not very enjoyable. Thankfully, we did recover enough to make the video. But then when we got there, I got my trusty camera out, and here it is. The old DJI Osmo Action that I've been using since, I think, early December 2019, when I was still in New Zealand. I bought this in Christchurch, and by heck, has this thing seen some use. You might be able to see it's slightly battered around the lens cap these days. It's suffered greatly, but been absolutely superb. But I discovered I was missing this little adapter. That is a plug-in Sign Over, it's called, adapter, that you must use to be able to plug in an external mic. If you haven't got that, you can't record sound effectively other than the onboard mic, which is terrible. So there I was, standing in front of Pete's bus, RML 2355, realizing I couldn't record the video how I'd intended to cover the video. And we ended up recording it on the phone I'm talking to you on now. It's a Samsung Galaxy S10e. But there's another adapter which you have to use for that to make the Rode Wireless Go plug into the phone. And we got through the Route Master filming, no problems. When there's two of us, we can check the connections very frequently and make sure the sound is actually being captured properly. And yeah, it's just ends up, because you've got a connection on the adapter, then you've got that cable to the adapter, and then you've got that cable to the wireless receiver. So there's all these failure points. And sure enough, when I was filming the Toyota Land Cruiser video, I don't think you've seen it yet, but it is coming. Massive issues. The sound dropped out. The connection, I think, to the phone had failed. So not only did I have shaky footage because I was recording it on my phone and not this camera, which has amazing image stabilization, it's really good. Yeah, the sound failed as well. But fortunately, these are Rode Wireless Go 2s, and these record sound as well. I hadn't even turned the setting on. I've had this since, well, I think I may have had it over a year. Or was it last year I bought it? Early last year, I can't remember. I had the predecessor, and then I went to the Wireless 2, because you can have two microphones going into one receiver. So you can interview people more, which is why there's been a bit more speaking to other people than perhaps there was in the past, just because it's become a lot easier to do. So fortunately, just before the trip, I did a firmware update on those, which seems to make them crash more. Well done, Rode. But yeah, I turned on the recording. So thankfully, I'd already edited up the Toyota Land Cruiser video, and then realized the sound was terrible. So I plugged in the microphone, this very microphone, and then managed to get the sound files off it. But when you turn these on, they start recording. So it was one big long file the whole time I was filming the Toyota. So I then had to go into that and chop all the sections out and try and sync them up. And yeah, not the easiest. video to edit, and I'm not entirely happy with the result, but salvaged it. So yeah, it's quite stressful. And of course I had to film the exam Mega with the phone as well, knowing the phone was going to get shook around all over the place. But I think that just added to the drama of driving that vehicle. Incidentally, I think his channel's Mega Bread Van. He has filmed a response to my video, so you can go and find that, because he loves them, and I'm glad people love them. There's loads of vehicles I really don't want to drive ever again, but I'm glad people love them. Bond minicars spring straight to mind, and Messerschmitts, to be fair. They're terrifying to drive, but I'm very glad that people love them. I'm glad people drive them around, we get to see them and hear them. It's brilliant stuff. Bond minicars, very clever, but very, very crude, and that's coming from someone who regularly drives an Invacar. But yeah, I just wanted to talk a bit about that one. That's where we are. We haven't done a HubNotes vlog for a while, and I thought you'd be interested to know that it doesn't always take much. The smallest thing, just this tiny little adapter on the side of my camera, left at home accidentally. It fell under my chair, so I found it immediately when we got back, thankfully. But yeah, something as small as that can utterly derail you, which is why we're so fortunate to have mobile phones that are so good. You know, I can live stream on this phone, and we do. When we do live streams, it is this phone we do it on, and you can broadcast all around the world with what's in your pocket. And I built the channel up, the early days of the channel. I was using nothing but mobile phones. It was only when I went to New Zealand, and the mobile phone I had at the time, that was a Samsung Galaxy S7. We filmed the Triumph 2000s in very low light conditions, and when I started editing it on the other side of the South Island, I realised the footage was terrible. So that's why I went back to Christchurch a second time. I went back, I bought this camera, and then I went and filmed the Triumphs again. But I'd already shot all the external stuff, and I thought, well, that's all good, that's fine. So all I filmed was fresh interior footage, which this thing did so much better. So that's a fun fact for you. So I may have mentioned this before, but yeah, that Triumph 2000 video filmed in New Zealand, there is, I think, a week, maybe 2 weeks between the interior footage and the exterior footage. Sometimes you just got to make do with what you have, and that was very much one of those situations. So hugely thankful to the owner of those cars for agreeing to me doing the filming, not just once but twice. So yeah, very, very kind of him. He saved the bacon. So yeah, that explains why I ended up kind of doing almost a figure of 8 of the South Island in the end. But yeah, seems so distant ago. You know, exactly 3 years ago, I was in Australia, getting very close to the end of the trip, and yeah, thinking, am I actually going to get home? Just seems so long ago now. Scary times. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to a stage where I don't keep going on about the New Zealand trip, because we're doing something else, and I'm sure that's going to happen. We've got some plans maybe too strong a word. We've got some ideas this year to go travelling. We've got this 500,000 mile Picasso to play with for a bit, and it's not much of an adventure to have it sitting on the driveway, so we want to take this places. We're hoping Easter will see us hit the road big time, so yeah, stay tuned for that. But otherwise, yeah, thank you for your continued support over on the main channel. Thank you for your support here on HubNotes as well, and yeah, I'll see you in a future vlog. Bye.